What's going on, guys? Parker here, and I am back with another video. And today I got my top 5 NBA Prize Picks player props for the day. And before we get into this video, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel down below if you are new, as well as giving this video a big thumbs up because that really helps the channel out a ton and helps push my content out to more and more people each and every single day, guys. So I really would appreciate that. Also, before we get in this video, I want to show you guys the Devin Booker free square that is going on Sleeper Fantasy. So when you sign up for Sleeper, make sure to use code FF23 for an 100% match on your first deposit up to $100, as well as this Devin Booker free square. So if you want to take advantage of this free square and then also get an 100% match on your first deposit, then make sure to use code FF23. And the link will be down below in the description, guys. So make sure to do that. And then also, before we get into our plays, I know the last 2 days have been absolutely horrible. We were on a 14-3 run before the last 2 days. We're going to bounce back, guys. It's a long-term process of making smart bets and being a profitable bettor. If you're new around here the last couple days, I'm sorry, but it's going to get better. I promise you. We've been extremely profitable all season long. And like I said, we were on a 14-3 run with our props before the last 2 days. So it's time to bounce back. It's time to get our mojo back and have another big day of betting. And I'm really confident in these plays today. I really do like these plays today. I wasn't the biggest fan even going into the slate the last 2 days, but obviously my job to make content for you guys. But the slate wasn't the best. Really a fan of the slate today, though. And I'm ready to cash out. So without further ado, let's get right into today's plays. So first off, I got Jimmy Butler over 21.5 points versus the Kings. He's over this line in 2 straight games. The Kings allow the 5th most points per game in the entire NBA this season. The Kings allow the 2nd highest field goal percentage in the NBA to small forwards this season. The Heat are on a 7-game losing streak. Tons of motivation for him to have an elite performance tonight and get this team back to their winning ways. And he has been much better at home than on the road this season. And he's at home tonight, averaging 23.1 points per game at home this season. Overall, Jimmy Butler has been extremely dominant when playing at home. He is an ideal matchup versus a team that greatly struggles versus the small forward position. A matchup where Jimmy Butler should be able to dominate, should be able to have a good game. And overall, I'm really confident in Jimmy Butler tonight. I'm really confident that he can perform really well, have a big game, and get this done for us. So Jimmy Butler over 21.5 points versus the Kings is my first play of the day. Next up, I got James Harden over 27.5 points plus assists versus the Wizards. So Harden has the ideal matchup today as he's facing off against the Wizards, who allow the 9th most points per game in the entire NBA to point guards this season. The Wizards also allow the most assists per game in the NBA to point guards this season. He's also over this line in 4 straight matchups versus the Wizards. So James Harden has absolutely dominated the Wizards when he faces off versus the Wizards. And he has another matchup here, which he should be able to dominate today. Overall, really confident in James Harden today. Really confident in him in this matchup, facing off against a team that struggles greatly versus the point guard position. And they struggle greatly versus high usage point guards. We know James Harden, yes, his usage isn't as high as it once was. It's still pretty high usage. He's still getting a lot of reps, a lot of volume in. And I'm really confident that Harden can soar over this line today. So James Harden over 27.5 points plus assists versus the Wizards is my second play of the day. Next up, I got Anthony Edwards over 27.5 points versus the Mavs. Edwards is over this line in 2 straight matchups versus the Mavs this season. He's with 36 and 44 in his last 2 matchups versus the Mavs. The Mavs allow the 6th most points per game in the NBA to shooting guards this season. He's also over this line in 10 of his last 17 games at home. Edwards, another player that performs better at home. He's been dominant at home this season. He has a home matchup today, which he should be able to dominate versus a lesser opponent in terms of defense. The Mavs definitely struggle defensively. So overall, I think Edwards has a big night. I'm pretty confident that Edwards will have a big night. So Anthony Edwards over 27.5 points versus the Mavs is my third play of the day. Next up for my fourth play, I got an under, and it's on somebody that I don't like to take unders on, but I just like this spot too much today. My hair is awful right now. Victor Wembanyama under 24.5 points versus the Magic. Wembanyama's under this line in 4 straight games. He's under this line in 31 of 41 games this season as well. So he's been going under this line at a really high rate all season long, which makes me very confident that he will go under this line once again in this matchup. The Magic allow the 6th fewest points per game to centers in the entire NBA this season. The Magic have definitely struggled versus the center position. Wembanyama, or it's not struggled. The Magic have been dominant versus the center position. Sorry, they allowed the 6th fewest points per game. Sorry, I started just making shit up there. Wembanyama, obviously a great player. Obviously, phenomenal talent. But this is just not a spot that he's going to go over this line. This line is way too high at 24.5. Like, if it was like 21.5, 22.5, I probably wouldn't touch it. But 24.5 is way too high. He has not been covering it consistently at all this season. Like, as you can see, he only covered it 10 times all season. And then besides that, the Magic are great versus the center position, so it's not even a good matchup there. So really confident in this line, really confident he soars under. So Victor Wembanyama, under 24.5 points versus the Magic is my 4th play of the day. Now for my 5th and final play, I got Nikola Vucevic, over 29.5 points plus rebounds versus the Hornets. He's over this line in 2 of his 3 games versus the Hornets this season. The Hornets allow the 3rd most points per game in the NBA to centers this season. The Hornets allow the 2nd most rebounds per game in the NBA to centers this season as well. So they have overall just struggled versus the center position. And this is another spot where they should not be able to dominate the center. In Vucevic, they should definitely struggle in this spot once again. And then it's an ideal matchup for Vucevic to have a big night. We know they have struggled versus the center position. The Hornets have. Vucevic, a dominant center, getting an ideal matchup here, and I think he soars over this line and covers with ease. I'm really confident in this tonight as well. So Nikola Vucevic, over 29.5 points plus rebounds versus the Hornets is my 5th and final play. So those were my top 5 NBA PrizePicks player props for the day. Like I said, if you enjoyed this video and you do want to see more from me, go ahead and subscribe to the channel down below and give this video a big thumbs up because it really helps the channel out a ton and helps push my content out to more and more people, guys. So I really would appreciate it. Also, if you have not yet checked out Sleeper Fantasy, then go ahead and do so by clicking the link down below in the description and using code FF23 for this free Devin Booker square today and an 100% match on your first deposit. That's code FF23. So make sure to do that for that free Devin Booker square. Sign up for Sleeper Fantasy today. Like I said, subscribe to the channel down below. Thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. And we're going to get back on track today. We're going to make some money today. And hopefully I see you guys tomorrow with a sweep. And without further ado, I'll see you guys on the next one.